Śrī Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Śrī Vishakhan Vitamsya Namahom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Svadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubheva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadadhar Śrīvāsadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hari Bol. So we are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 8, text number. How many verses we read? 20 to 30. Huh? Okay, 11 verses. 10 verses. So last verse purport is, Srila Prabhupada is saying that in the spiritual world, everything is personal. There is nothing inanimate there. From ultimate point of view, everything is personal. In a spiritual world, this material world is combination of both matter and spirit. But in kingdom of God, only spirit. And because we are dealing with this matter, which is dead and not a personal. So tendency in this material world is always to become impersonal. So even people coming on the spiritual path, they think that ultimately the absolute truth is impersonal. But according to Vaishnava Acharyas, that is calamity. That's a danger in the spiritual path, to think like that. Impersonal calamity thou have removed. Absolute sentient thou have proved. Param Satya, absolute truth, is sentient being. It is not something impersonal. Without feeling, without emotions, without senses, personality. And what to speak of the Lord, person, everything connected to Lord also is a personality. Individual personalities. Even his sword, his all weapons, Sudarshan Chakra, and whatever weapons are mentioned here, bow and club, disc, sword, everything is personal. It's very difficult to conceive this. I remember one of our teacher, history teacher in my school. So speculative, how people speculate. He said he believed Krishna is there, but he said Krishna was very, very powerful person. He had such a weapon, chakra, Sudarshan Chakra, and he knew exactly how to throw it so that chakra would go and cut and come back again. In a particular angle he used to throw. So this is how people keep on speculating. Sudarshan Chakra is not something machine, that you have to throw in skillfully, very nicely. We understand Sudarshan Chakra is a person. In many episodes you can see that. When Ambrish Maharaj was attacked by the demon created by Durvasa Muni, right? That time the demon was destroyed by the Sudarshan Chakra. The chakra came and killed the demon, and the Sudarshan Chakra was chasing Durvasa Muni, right? And then the chakra came back again. Durvasa Muni came back, and along with chakra, Lord also told, I cannot do anything with this. Only Ambrish Maharaj can protect you. So all this time chakra was behind him. He went to so many demigods and ultimately to Narayana. And then from there he came back again. And then the Ambrish Maharaj prayed to Sudarshan Chakra, please kindly don't harm. So after the prayers, then the chakra went back. So it is a personality. He understands what has to be done, not just like a machine. Machine or robot is programmed and they don't have any feelings. In case of Haridas Thakur, when he was beaten in 22 marketplaces, Lord sent the chakra. And Lord wanted to kill those miscreants who were harming Haridas, trying to harm Haridas Thakur. But then Haridas Thakur had such compassion in his heart that he didn't want them to be hurt. So the chakra had to now decide. The Lord wanted to kill them, and Haridas Thakur didn't want them to be killed. So the chakra is personality. Understand that the Lord loves his devotees, and his devotees' desires are more important for the Lord than his own desire. The Lord protect his devotees. Words satyam vidhatum nija vritya bhashitam. Lord may sometimes keep aside his own words and protect the words of devotees. So understanding this, the chakra did not kill those people. The chakra just was what to do now. The Lord wants, but Haridas doesn't want. And then the Lord, seeing that chakra is not killing, so the Lord himself went and covered the Haridas Thakur's body. So these are dynamic, loving reciprocations between Lord and his devotees or his associates. In one sense, the chakra did not obey the Lord's instruction, but to please the Lord. Everything is done to please Krishna. It's not disobeying out of rebellion, out of envy. It's out of love. Understanding the actual heart of the Lord to please him. And we hear another story of Krishna in Vrindavan, where Krishna went to steal, used to go to steal butter. So gopis used to make so many plans. And one day they decided that we'll put everywhere bells, so many bells, so that little bit touch, bell will ring and we'll hear the sound. So they put all around butter, so many bells. Entrance there were bells, around the matka there were bells. Everywhere bells were put. So little bit touch, then they will start ringing. And they were specialized by doing nicely. So Krishna and his friend went and he saw so many bells are there. He understood. So he instructed the bells that you should not ring, make sound. So I am going to steal the butter, and my instruction is that you should not make any sound. So even you are touched. So he went peacefully then. The bells were not ringing. Even they are touched. So they were not ringing. And then Krishna took out the butter, which was kept very hidden, and then he started eating. And as soon as he put in the mouth, all the bells started ringing. And then gopis came and caught Krishna. And Krishna was very upset with them. He told you not to ring. They said, yes, you told not to ring when you are going to get the butter. But you also have told in the scriptures that whenever bhoga is offered, ring should bell. Some bell should ring. So we followed earlier instruction. So that's how in spiritual world everything is person, nothing is dead matter. And because of that, everything is a wonderful experience. Everything is a joyful experience, because the purpose of everyone is ultimately to give happiness to Krishna. So even though apparently sometimes Krishna's instructions are not followed in spiritual world, or Krishna is chastised, or Krishna is forbidden from some activities, Yashodama is tying Krishna, So everything is, he's saying, Namastestu damne spuradipti damne. So I offer my obeisances to Krishna's belly and Krishna, this rope which is binding Krishna. Because everything is personality in spiritual world. All the paraphernalia, they are not dead objects. They are, as we said, professing that all living force. So they have taken different forms in order to serve Krishna in that particular form. So in that sense, even the trees are fully conscious. Birds, trees, animals, they are pure devotees of the Lord. There is no difference between that with the human-like form, Gopas and Gopis, or Krishna's friends, cowherd boys or calves. There are different forms, and they are fully evolved in their consciousness. Purna Vikasi Chetana, Krishna consciousness. So the calf is as good as Gopa. The devotee has taken that particular form to serve Krishna in that particular way. In this material world, there is a difference in consciousness. The animals cannot understand the scriptural knowledge and spiritual path. Human being can understand. But all the beings, they are fully conscious, Krishna conscious. Birds or even trees. The trees are Kalparuksha trees. Kalparuksha means they can fulfill the desires of anybody who approaches them. In one lecture, Prabhupada is saying that they can give you anything you want. Like there is a mango tree, but then mango tree also can give you bananas, pineapple, apple, custard apple, any kind of fruit they can give. They are mystical powers, certainly. Krishna has given that power, empowerment. And Srila Prabhupada was saying in one lecture, they can give you samosa and kachori also. Prabhupada's favorite, kachori. So they can give other items also, not only fruits. Just like a human being can supply, if I ask somebody, okay, get some bananas or mangoes, so that person can get from somebody can arrange. So, because if you go to the mango tree here in this world, mango tree cannot give you those things, because the mango tree doesn't have that ability. But human being can give. So there, everybody has those abilities. Chintamani prakara sadma sukalpa vruksha. They are kalpa vruksha trees. They can supply anything you want. So therefore, nobody is dissatisfied in the spiritual world. Any form, they are fully satisfied to serve Krishna. Nobody feels need to change their forms also. Also they can change. There is no need. Whatever form they are having, they are completely satisfied and serving Krishna. And And the whole spiritual world is very dynamic always, fully surcharged with enthusiasm to serve. In the material world, the grass is just lying dead, whole day. You can just see what living entities' unfortunate situation, knowing nothing, just standing in the grass. There is no consciousness, dull mode of ignorance. Or living entities standing like a tree. For hundreds of years or thousands of years they can just stand. But there is no consciousness to serve. So there's very boring life in the material world. Even human beings also sometimes they are just sitting not doing anything. When they are sometimes depressed, frustrated. Sometimes people drunk and they just lie down somewhere. So the ignorance make people in this world not to be active, and passion also they are madly active. That means they are just want enjoy, the enjoying spirit, and they create disturbance for others. Those who are very passionate people who have enjoying mentality, they bound to exploit others and disturb others people. But there in the spiritual world, everybody is enthusiastic, but their consciousness is to serve. There is no question of disturbing anybody. They just want to see how I can give happiness. The same thing, same dynamism in the passionate person is thinking, how can I enjoy? So therefore he disturb others and exploit. But there, the same spirit, but what? Is not to enjoy, but to give happiness. Genuine desire to serve and make a person happy. If somebody is walking and he sees a tree, sees the tree, immediately the branch can come down to offer some fruit. Please have something. The whole purpose is to render service. Everybody is thinking that. And that rendering service is happiness. Because there is a reciprocation. That everybody wants to serve others. That means how much a person will be have to. He is also mode of service. Even somebody is offering service, to please him, he accepts something. So everything is there in the spiritual world. Dancing is there, singing is there, talking is there, eating is there. But everything is done in order to serve, and accepted also in order to give happiness, service, reciprocation. The gopis, they decorate themselves very nicely. Or anybody in the spiritual world want to make him look very beautiful. For what? Not to impress. In this world people want to impress others and then ultimately want to enjoy. Attract opposite sex so that they can enjoy. But there is the spirit is just to give happiness. Nothing they want to in return. And that's why they are the most beautiful personalities in spiritual world. Krishna, these spiritual forms are so wonderful. There are no defects in their beauty. In the material world, depending on one's piety, one will be given the beauty. But that beauty also will be temporary for some time. And again, that beautiful things others want to exploit, enjoy. That's what material world is. But there, they just want to give happiness to Krishna. So everything is there, extremely beautiful. All the ladies and the gents or the trees or animals, everything has charm. And it has a taste also. Everything is tasty. In one lecture, Prabhupada is saying that the gold also has a smell. Fragrance. The gold has a fragrance also, and probably taste also, because Paramahansa says that every object or everything is there has a taste, right? Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kalpatarayo Druma Bhumis Chinta Mani Ganamai Toyam Amrutam. The water is like nectar. Katha Ganam Natyam Gamanam Api Vamshi Priya Sakhi. Chidanandam, Chidanandam, what is it? Chidanandam Paramapas Tada Swadam Apicha. That's Swada, everything has a taste. Chidanandam Jyoti, I forgot. Anyway, but that this is that everything has a taste, fragrance. In gold in this world maybe look very attractive, but it has no fragrance. But in spiritual world there is a fragrance purpose. Gold also has a fragrance, it has a taste, everything. Chidanandam Jyoti Paramapi Tada Swadam Apicha. Right? What is the meaning of that? Every Swad means taste, right?
The supreme spiritual entities are all environment tested.
Yes. They are enjoyable and tasty. Interesting, na? Everything has a taste. But nobody has this enjoying mentality. Everybody has a mood of service. Even Krishna is a supreme enjoyer, but he is also in the mood of service, seva. He wants to accept services to give happiness to the devotees. Just like the root is our stomach is an enjoyer of all the food, but that enjoyment is to supply the nourishment to all every part of the body. The root of the tree accepts everything to supply nourishment to the whole tree. Similarly, Krishna also is accepting all the enjoyment. He is a supreme enjoyer, but he has always a mood of serving the devotees, giving happiness to the devotees. And not that the reciprocity is not because people should go on giving him enjoyment. No. He is happy himself, Atmaram. If somebody is serving him out of love, he accepts it. He accepts to please the devotees. And he is also constantly thinking how to give happiness to the devotees. But material world means just opposite. Here everybody wants to be enjoyer and nobody wants to serve. And that is troublesome for everyone. Person may give some service apparently, but the inner consciousness, I want to enjoy first. In spiritual world, no one thinks like that. Everybody thinks that how I can serve. And something comes in reciprocation, person accepts it just to please that person. Somebody wants to offer you something. Otherwise they are content themselves. Self-satisfaction is always there. But then that loving reciprocation increases this happiness, pleasure. At the Brahma-bhuta stage is a complete satisfaction, no hankering. Brahma-bhuta prasannatma, na śocati na kāṅkṣati. Samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labhate param. So bhakti, actual bhakti starts after that. A complete satisfaction. A person doesn't want anything else. He is fully satisfied in his life. And then the bhakti activities become dynamically increasing the happiness. Because with that satisfaction, when a person renders service, then his happiness multiplies. Those who are not going beyond that, they only remain on the Brahman platform. The nature of the soul is to be active. So that how that activities with devotion to Krishna. So they try to reach to the platform of Brahman by not performing activities, because the activities in the material worlds are giving so much troubles, because they are done with a perverted consciousness. So the speculative path can lead maximum to that level. that becoming activityless, senseless, desireless. But the real life starts after that, becoming free from material desires, free from contaminated senses. That they don't have idea. They think that's the ultimate. But still, that is also so fascinating. The people go to the Brahman platform, they become satisfied. Brahma Bhuta Prasanna. But because the soul has a dynamic nature, pleasure-seeking nature and active nature, they cannot become stable on that platform also. Or to speak of becoming stable on this material platform, which is always constantly tottering and disturbing. And we are trying to settle down on this material platform. It's not possible. This dynamism on the material platform is very, very troublesome. But here also people want to have a stable enjoyment, stable permanent house, permanent job, at least paying income. They want. So in this platform it's not possible. But if we change our consciousness from this bhoga vritti to seva vritti, which is difficult because that perverted consciousness for a long time and everybody is doing the opposite activities. So everybody is afraid, if I do become selfless, then I will be exploited. That fear is there. If I become very selfless, too selfless. That fear is there because of our long stay in this material world. Fruitive mentality is so much strongly rooted in the heart. But if our selflessness is connected to Krishna, then one can revive the original nature back, the soul's nature. Jivera Sarupa hai Krishnera Nitya Das. And in that sense, now present life is, in one sense, is actually like a sleeping state. A person is sleeping. Spiritually we are all sleeping, or contrary acting against our nature. But this real spiritual life means awakening back again. Jiva jago, jiva jago. That means coming to our real nature. Why we are keeping our sleeping on the lap of Maya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give holy name, to remove this ignorance. What is that ignorance? Ignorance is to think, I am the controller, I am the proprietor, I am the enjoyer. And giving up this mentality and coming to our real nature. I am the servant of Krishna. And instead of serving or forced to serve so many things in this world, so many people in this world, if one chooses to serve Krishna selflessly, then one will never be exploited. In this world, if you are serving someone, there is exploitation, from mutual exploitation. And even if somebody serves selflessly, the other party will serve exploited. So there is a fear. But if you serve Krishna or his representatives, one will never find exploitation. Rather will find loving reciprocation. So Krishna is unconditionally loving us. But as long as we have material consciousness, it's difficult to experience Krishna's love. So therefore Krishna is asking us to serve him. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Give me something with bhakti. So by that process, a living entity can experience Krishna's loving nature. Because love means it's both sides. Krishna is unconditionally loving us. But we can see when we have this exploitative mentality, in today's world people are not able to see Krishna's hand. Krishna has so many things already has given us. Instead of being grateful to God for supplying this so many things in the material world, So many varieties of fruits, vegetables, grains, sunlight, moonlight, rains. So many things are already there. Scriptures to guide us. Krishna comes in the form of holy name, deity, incarnations. He sends his devotees to help us out. That's an advanced things. But even for normal things also, so many things are supplied in nature which we cannot do. No matter how much advancement we make scientifically, technologically, we are not able to produce food, which Krishna is only supplying us, varieties of food. But instead of accepting that with gratitude, people think it has come by chance. Why? Because a person who has enjoying mentality, his desires is always to get more and more enjoyment. And the gratitude means you have to reciprocate back. I am getting so much, I have to do it back. That's what modern man doesn't want. With reciprocation, it doesn't want it. The person who has got more and more enjoying mentality, there is no gratitude in the heart. He wants always more and more for himself. And that's what lust means. Lust means unsatiable desire to enjoy. Not only sex, but all kinds of desires. And ultimately, prestige, subtle sex, pujala, pratishta. That is also it. Want more and more and more, always. So therefore, this material world is called perverted reflection of the spiritual world. Love and lust is the same thing. One is directed towards serving Krishna and his devotees, and other is directed towards oneself. Atma Indriya Priti Vancha. Or to those people who are giving me that Atma Indriya Priti. Prabhupada said extended self gratification. Person is thinking this is my extension part, so I want to satisfy them also. The bodily relationships. But ultimately, why? Because if they are giving me happiness, pleasure to my senses, so that is a lust. And therefore, it is difficult to conceive this spiritual world, that where nobody has that self-centered consciousness. Everybody is Krishna-centered, always thinking about others. How I can serve others? How can I serve Krishna, Krishna's devotees? And more person becomes this materially conscious, slowly is degrades down. From the mode of passion, too much mode of passion, then person goes to the mode of ignorance, madness. Those who are too passionate, they are likely to become mad in the next life or this life. Said like that. Too much passion leads to slowly ignorance. And people work very hard, then they need some wine to drink, right? They want to go into ignorance. Too much passion slowly leads to the ignorance, dullness in their consciousness. And that means they want to become like stones. Drink and lie down somewhere. The real nature of the soul is always to be dynamic. This kind of dullness, you don't need that dynamism. You are always joyful. But this passion, a person becomes frustrated if he doesn't get enjoyment. Or too much passion. Prabhupada said, wherever there are factories and these modern things, people will find around that liquor shops, brothels, all these things you'll find. Meat shops. Exploitative nature, and then they slowly glide down to the ignorance. Dullness of the consciousness. That means they want to become inanimate. Too much of ignorance, then person can become like a stone also. Stone-like consciousness. There are some stones which has life. So they go on living there thousands of years also. You see some living entities just like a tree body, just standing, not doing anything. The mode of ignorance is thick covering. So the very unfortunate situation, gliding down from such exalted nature of the soul is to be always joyful, dynamic, and living exchanges among the devotees, between Krishna and devotees. From that exalted position, slowly gliding down, coming to this material world, exploratory tendency, and then one can glide down. Again, to come back to the human form of life from that situation takes so many lifetimes. A person glide down to the tree body. Then again you get insect body, and then birds bodies, and then coming animals, and then human beings. But here Bhagavatam is giving us very wonderful insight that there even apparently what is found in this world, inanimate things, sword and disc and bow and club and so many different kinds of weapons, everything there is personality. And they are not only just personalities, they are fully pure and pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva, active, always dynamically active in their consciousness. They are never dull, always thinking about serving, seva. So this kind of life is eternal life, eternal life of full bliss, Satchidananda. Material life is people go on enjoying, and then they get tired. They want always changes, and they work hard to get enjoyment. Again, they enjoy for some time. Again, they work hard. And then they want rest, getting tired. But in spiritual life, you don't need such things. Everything is performed naturally, swabhaviki. The swabhaviki thing doesn't need what you have, what you need in the material world, various kind of changes. So there, one can go on serving without any tiredness. You don't need food also in spiritual world, don't need rest also. One can be always active. That's why the Goswamis were 24 hours practically. 2 hours they used to sleep, eat, sleep, take bath, everything. At 22 hours they were active. Because of whatever bodily needs, in 22 hours only they were to finish everything. So that's how you can get the glimpse of the dynamic life in the spiritual world. So, life. Here we have to take shelter of ignorance for some time, go to sleep. And after working very hard, our body becomes tired and we need some rest. But there, this rest is also not required. One can be always active. Śrīla Prabhupada says that there is no past and future, in sense that there is no lamentation about past done. Because life is eternal. Why you want to worry about the past, what happened? And there is no need of worrying about future. Fear is not there. Concern is not there. Every activity there is pure. So there is no question of any karmic reactions. So there is no need to worry about past. Everything is done in the present tense. Because eternal realm. Here you have to consider about past, but there is no need of past considering. Nava Ayaman. Every activity is filled with wonderful experience. So they all live in the present tense always. There is no need of lamenting about past and worrying about future. Spiritual life means you are always in present tense. Because you imagine that there is no question of life. The living beings are living for since time immemorial. And there is no death. So who will keep on noting down in the past what has happened? Like sometimes we have these past memories, we want to see some photographs. Oh, that time I was very happy. So whenever there is some happy moment, people want to keep records in the form of photographs and everything. Spiritual life, you are always happy. And that happiness is always constantly increasing. Srila Prabhupada in one lecture is saying that there are no some past old good days. Good old days. In good old days, the concept is not there. It's always good. Everything is wonderful. Sometimes in our Krishna consciousness, some people discuss, oh, early time there was so nice when we were new in Krishna consciousness. Now there is so much struggle. Actually speaking, the struggle is there because of our offenses and anarthas. And when we come to Krishna consciousness, beginning times we are very innocent. We respect everyone. One devotee was telling that everything you touch, even the table you touch, in the mic also you touch, everything is so respectful. Right? And that's why you can enjoy the spiritual life. Because there is offenses is not there. Your respect to another pisoni chena tarora amanina manadena. You offer obeisances to everyone, respect everyone, and that's why you are happy. But after spending time, then you start seeing faults in so many. This is not good, that is not good. And then you commit offenses. Of course, that in the beginning times, the anarthas are not coming on the surface. As you spend time, then the anarthas are coming on the surface, then you have to deal with them. But our happy state goes away because of taking things granted and not being respectful or committing offenses to the devotee's holy name. In the beginning times, you are taking shelter of the holy name because of so much troubles in this material world, but after some time, your chanting becomes inattentive. What is this same thing I have to do? So because of material affinity, we are unable to focus on the spiritual things. Our mind is constantly going into that material, our attraction, and we become inattentive. So whole spiritual process is to make us attentive and respectful, because then only you can get the touch with the spiritual things. All the rules and regulations are to help us to be attentive and to be respectful. And by this, our consciousness can get in touch with the spiritual things. Like deity worship also, there are so many rules and regulations. To make us always remain conscious, Krishna conscious. Smartavyam satatam Vishnu vismartavyam na jatu chit. So if one learns to live like this in present tense, the absorption into the whatever we are put in situations, rather than our dull consciousness goes somewhere else in sense gratification. We put our efforts to reciprocate with Krishna, giving us so many opportunities to develop relationship with Him. When you are chanting the holy name of the Lord, when He is attentive, let me hear the holy name, let me not think of anything else now at this stage. So this kind of determination to always absorb in the present activity, every activity like that. If you are eating prasadam, then you can honor prasadam. This is Krishna's mercy. And Krishna has given this to. With gratitude, we accept it, it will purify our heart. Holy name also, if you are attentive, That will purify the heart. Deities also, the Lord is standing here, being attentive. So all these activities will become a source of a joy, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions in his set, Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu, that he is relishing everything. Why we are not able to relish? Because he is absorbing his consciousness with gratitude. Krishna is Prati Divase Parama Sukhe Svikara Karo Eta. These are not ordinary activities. These are the activities of the spiritual world. We get up and do Mangalarti in front of the Lord, Radha and Krishna or Jagannath. So this happens in the spiritual world. We are given the access to these activities, but we are unfortunately inattentive. We are doing something else, we get absorbed. So if we absorb ourselves in the chanting, seeing the deities, hearing Bhagavatam class, or any activity what Srila Prabhupada has given us, especially our sadhana, then that will help us to also do other activities with the spiritual consciousness. This morning program is actually given to clean our consciousness, but that depends on how much we are absorbing ourselves with enthusiasm. Absorption, not doing mechanically things, putting full efforts with gratitude, prayers. Why many people they follow some rituals, and those rituals become just empty their activities. They are doing it because somebody has told them, or they are doing out of fear, because they don't put their heart into doing those activities. They only become just ritualistic things, and they forget the purpose also behind it after some time. So hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam or performing our activities also with consciousness means preparing. Like in morning times we prepare Manas Puja and offer prayers, reminding ourselves that these activities are not ordinary activities. I am doing whatever I am doing is to give happiness to Krishna. So from this self-centered consciousness of enjoyment, we are trying to act to give happiness to Krishna. So these endeavors, efforts will help us to uplift our consciousness from the material to the spiritual realm. And Krishna helps. Krishna is ready to help us. But Krishna's help can be fruitful by our endeavors. It's both ways required. A good student and a good teacher. So Krishna is giving his mercy, and we have to also endeavor. That's why Subhagavata says that Tatra laulyam tadapi mulya ekalam. That we should have that intense greed, that I want Krishna consciousness. How we are very enthusiastic for sense gratification. Our own sense gratification, we are so alert. When we see a beautiful woman or man sees woman, they become immediately alert. Even if he's sleeping, sleep goes away by seeing the opposite sex. Or see some prasadam nice coming in front of us, immediately even if you are sleeping, we will awake. So the sense gratification comes how enthusiastic we are. So we have to transfer that enthusiasm to Krishna conscious activities. One should be enthusiastic for seeing the darshan of the Lord, enthusiastic for hearing Bhagavatam class, enthusiastic for chanting the holy name of the Lord. And if we are not enthusiastic, then we have to pray. My dear Lord, see my situation. Durdaimam idrisham ihajani naduragaha. Even if you become humble like this and pray, my dear Lord, I don't have any taste. Kave have bolo se na amar. And when that day will come, then when I really develop taste. So that's why in all the Bhagavatam episodes, all these incidences in Bhagavatam will find ending in prayers, which is a very important part of the Bhagavatam. We should learn to offer these prayers. Out of 64 items, Rupa Goswami speaks, 3-4 places he speaks about offering prayers. So one side we endeavor, try to be conscious, and we also offer prayers. After every service also, we should offer prayers. That I did this service, but my consciousness was not at all proper. Bhakti hinam, kriya hinam. See, all this is we are acting. These are not prayers just mechanically, but we are actually trying to set our consciousness to that, the right consciousness. So even if you have not done service very consciously, you can sit down and offer prayers at least. My dear Lord, please kindly forgive me for not being attentive. So like that, a devotee who is sincere devotee, when he is trying to be Krishna conscious, struggling, then you can see the mercy of Krishna is very powerful, is there to help us out. Otherwise, sometimes we ask, where is the mercy available? Mercy is always available, and we have to seek for it. And seeking means one has to constantly endeavor. Develop that greed. Tatra laulyam tadapi mulle kalam. We hear about the great acharyas, great devotees, or other stories of Bhagavatam where how Dhruva Maharaj from practically nothing, he developed such a wonderful consciousness. So they're all there to inspire us to do the activity the right way. How much absorption Dhruva Maharaj had. Well, Ajamila also, he was so sinful, but he became so exalted. What was his determination? How much he was, determined to now get purified. When he is, either thought processing, how much he was lamenting, repenting about his past, and how enthusiastically he took to Krishna consciousness. So in one sense, it is that enthusiasm, Prabhupada says, enthusiasm is first thing. Enthusiasm to apply ourselves with the right consciousness. It's not a matter of just doing things, but how we are doing things. Not what we are doing, but how we are doing. With what consciousness. So then we can arise from this dull material consciousness to the dynamic spiritual consciousness. Hari Bol. Any questions? Comment. Therefore, the Lord is called Advaya Gyan, indicating that there is no difference between Him and His names, forms, qualities, weapons, and so on. Anything pertaining to Him is in the same category of the spiritual existence. They are all engaged in the service of the Lord in varieties of spiritual forms. Variety of spiritual forms. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Grantara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Thank you so much.
Yeah.